Or I think we're all here. We're not waiting on any other staff, are we, Dawn or Yvonne? We're good?
No,
okay.
we're good.
Great, thanks. So we'll call the meeting to order. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Oh.
Okay,
Seconded.
so thank you, Councillors Sampson. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so next item then is our budget presentation. So Jason, I know you sent the information in advance, so thank you very much for that. Did you want to take a run through it or?
It's really up to you guys. I mean, yeah, I sent the information out this afternoon and made the changes to the budget. I was hoping to send it out a little bit earlier than that, but I was in a course this morning and I was waiting on some information that hadn't come in until late this morning. So yeah, the changes are made and the balance is budget as per you guys' wishes. So I think the purpose was just to have one more quick meeting here to
yeah.
get final approval, I guess, before we move on to the next phase.
Okay, and I know
So
you had
Jason,
included. Sorry, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead,
No,
Deputy Warden.
I got mine right at the very end too. Actually, I don't know why all my emails come through like wildfire around 4 o'clock. I noticed some of the changes. Was there some changes on the revenue side as well?
Yeah, there was. Those would have been outlined, I guess, in the email that you would have received from me this afternoon.
Yeah, so we've got a tax revenue. So that the tax revenue that I'm seeing were residential, commercial, and resource properties. So, and the deed transfer you mentioned as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, councillors, maybe I'll just like if you have any pressing questions regarding the documents, I'll just open the floor. Perhaps it's the quickest way to do it. Okay, so I'm not hearing any questions. So I guess we'll look for consensus if you can indicate if that you're okay with moving this budget forward for our special council meeting tomorrow night. Yes, no?
Yep, it's what was agreed at the last meeting, so.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I gotta send this computer away or something. And it locks, like it just locks. Like
okay.
Unmute me. Yvonne, unmute me.
All right, so it sounds like we have consensus. Is there is there any red flags then? Like just anything that people didn't understand with what had come through? Okay.
So
all right, so I
just ask, while we have folks here, can I just ask like a quick procedural thing? I just don't even know, So is what happens when we take it to the meeting, like Jason, will you give like a high level, like I saw the documents, of course, that were included for our last meeting when we were to take this to a vote, but there's a bit of a presentation. Like what does that look like, I guess? What kind of information is shared?
I guess it's been, it varies sometimes from year to year. I guess at times I've made a very small presentation and at times I haven't even showed up to the meeting because the last step is just a very formal process. The presentation, I guess, occurs during these public meetings. So they're open to the public, people can log in. I guess we've been presenting for 10 meetings now, basically, including tonight. So it's your choice. I mean, I can do nothing at all. I think at the very most, I would do a very high level 2-minute spiel. If you guys want me to, would be very quick. And then you guys could basically state anything you would want to share from a budget perspective. If there's anything specific you'd want to share, I guess in an open council meeting, you could do that. But from our perspective, the memos are there, the final documents are there, and the draft motions are there. for you guys to go on. So it's a very straightforward process. It can happen in 5 minutes, basically.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, but, like, that's fine by me. I just
Yeah.
never really know what that looks like, what it looks like. Do you talk about, we're going to increase revenue by this, and, our expenses change, the big changes in expenses included things like blah, 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 blah. I mean,
Yeah.
those are things we can share with our own constituents, but I just
Right.
wondered if it was something that, you know what I mean, that you would say, like, the agreement is like 1 cent tax increase. We adjusted some other revenues at the arena and at the landfill, and then we adjust, most expenses are in line with other years, except we're doing, this study and that study, and like that kind of stuff, which is what I want to share myself.
Yeah.
Right. But I just didn't know what level of detail you would share. I don't care either way.
I think there'd be so much to go through, right?
Yeah.
To touch on everything, but basically, if it was to be, like a 5-minute talk, basically I would talk about what the overall amount of the budget is, what that would compare in dollars to last year.
Mhm.
I would state about the tax rate increase. I could basically discuss quickly what percentage revenue went up from a residential or commercial standpoint.
Mhm.
And then generally what people are interested in too is what the increases in the mandatory contributions were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing.
So I could quickly just run through those 5 or 6 contributions and explain how much they've gone up from last year. And then generally speaking, any types of feel good, new money type stuff like the studies or anything like that,
Yeah.
I could also throw in there as well. But beyond that, I wouldn't generally go into much more detail. And then, you guys can take those documents and free to discuss the money that's in there with your constituents and anything you want to put out there.
Okay.
I want to throw a stupid question at you, and you can throw back a stupid answer because I don't know it. So
Such thing.
regardless of what you give me, it's not gonna. And I'm only gonna ask the increase of 20,303 in deed transfer tax revenue.
Yeah.
How's that work? Like, what is that?
So deed transfer tax revenue is the 1.5% fee that is charged on the sale of a property, land, or building. So we collect revenue from the buyer of a property. And because we don't know what I explained in my emails, because we don't know it from year to year, it's really hard to pinpoint what that amount's going to be. So every year we tend to budget it conservatively, is what I would say. And it seems the last few years it's been a little bit higher than what we budget. So that's why we felt comfortable increasing that amount. But I wouldn't want to be too aggressive on it and up at 50,000, let's say, or whatever, and then be in the opposite direction when it comes through. So we inch it up a little bit at a time and hope that, of course, we hope that we do better than budgeted because it's more revenue for the county.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so hearing no, I guess, red flags from counselors at this point, we don't really need a motion, I guess, within this meeting because it's just a budget workshop. But we can take that back to council as consensus. Any other procedural issues you need to worry about related to that, Don?
Just so that we get each councillor agreeing, I would like to see each councillor actually.
Okay, yeah, we can. I'll do the roll call.
Or
for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so everyone supportive of bringing this budget forward to special council meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. No one is opposed. Okay, is that good? That gives you the awesome, perfect. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that only took 10 minutes. So I guess we'll adjourn. What just happened?
That's awesome because I have another meeting at 6 and one at 7.
I know you do. I know you do. And Brett's got a long drive home.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Sampson. Can I have a seconder on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.